Life Center, welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. You're in for a treat. We have Melissa Olson with us on the keyboards and vocals. And today, Lisa Lawson is giving the talk on connecting through prayer. You are all welcome here. Let's sing about how we're all welcome here. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Did I mention that Lisa Lawson is doing the talk today? Your soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, everybody is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome, and I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning, SLC. Well, Friday was it was Friday the 13th. Of course, we at SLC celebrated it as Buddha Friday. Many of you have been following the Buddhist monks, as they made their walk from Texas all the way up to the nation's capital. Well, a number of folks at SLC said that turnabout is fair play. We should be marching to the Buddhists and showing love and compassion. We didn't go as far as from Texas to, to the nation's capital. But a group on Friday gathered outside, marched to a Buddhist temple not just down the road, and gave blessings to the Buddhist monks and flowers and everything else. Beautiful pictures of it are on Facebook and all that. So then we come to the evening of Friday the 13th, and it was movie night, and we were supposed to see Midnight in Paris. The DVD did not work. The machinery was, oh, poor Daniel. Daniel was up there trying to, oh my God. And I hope Walter won't mind. Somebody said to me, you better get it working or Walter's going to start dancing. But fortunately, Sally, oh my God, Sally, we were so fortunate to have Sally. In April, we were going to show Little Buddha, and she had the DVD, so we plopped that in, and so Friday night was Little Buddha night at... And by the way, several of you came up to me and said, if I knew that DVD of Midnight in Paris wasn't going to work, I would have brought it in. I forgot to write down who you were. So please, if you have that working DVD of Midnight in Paris, please, can I get a copy of it? Because we'll show it in at movie night in April. And so,
Yeah, the next day.
Okay, there we go. There we go. So anyway, we are really in for a treat today. The message is going to be delivered by our own Lisa Lawson. And it's going to follow up on Unity's 5 principles. Lisa's really going to hit home on Unity's 4th principle, which is prayer and meditation. Lisa, we're so glad that you're going to be doing that.
Thank you, Reverend Rick. I'm so glad to be here. And we're glad you're here. We greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is sacred, and all that is holy, in the warm and loving energy of our community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no spot that God is not. If this is your first time joining us, online or in person, we especially welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We are all here by divine appointment. Please silence your electronic devices and refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well!
That was perfect. Thank you.
And speaking of which, today's daily word is divine order. And the affirmation is, my life and all life is in divine order. When I encounter delays and setbacks of the world, and the world is changing in ways I find unsettling, my life may feel chaotic, even out of control. Even though I know divine order underlies all things, it doesn't always feel that way. I remind myself that order is a spiritual truth, always present. I don't need to pray for it or even work toward it. I need only affirm it and trust that it is unfolding, especially when I see no evidence of it. I pray not to invoke divine order, but to bolster my awareness of it. I affirm divine order and feel comforted and assured of God's presence in all things and in all ways. As I return my attention to the world around me, I discover evidence of order everywhere I look. And from the Gospel of Luke we read, he said to his disciples, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, or what you will wear. Today's daily word is divine order. Dear Spirit, thank you for that divine order which flows. Thank you for, as the Apostle Paul said, we live, move, and have our being in that divine order. Thank you for SLC, this wonderful spiritual community on a metaphysical hill with a powerful message, not just to Sacramento, but to the world beyond. And where there are challenges in our life, help us to see these challenges as opportunities for more spiritual growth. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. And we say our mission statement together because these are words that can remind us of who we have come here to be. Let's say it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world, as we love, serve, and remember. And we also say those wonderful Unity 5 basic principles, which we're studying and going through now, because these principles really, when we do hit the potholes of life, can really help us to truly be overcomers. Let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And we're now in the season for nonviolence. It started on January 30th, the anniversary of the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, runs through April 4th, which is the anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King. We do this because really now it seems more than ever, the principles that Gandhi and King stood for are really, truly needed in our world. And each week we're having somebody from the congregation come up, do a reading, and also how this relates to their lives. So Christina Plessis, we're asking you to do it today.
Thank you and good morning. Today, I am forgiveness in action. Divine Comforter, I am aware that forgiveness is a gift that I give to myself. By allowing your spirit of loving forgiveness to flow in and through me, from the center of my being to the circumference, and then out to each person who may have wronged me, I bring peace to myself and others. Love is always at hand. I experience its healing warmth, first and then extended to another. Forgiveness comes from love. I choose today to consciously replace angry thoughts and old grudges with love, serenity, and forgiveness. Help me this day to remember the teaching. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Today, I release my attachments to old woundings and bless the world with peace of mind and love in my heart. Forgiveness. I had no idea when what the topic was when I picked this date. I guess it was meant to be divine order. It's a subject I continue to be challenged with. Yet I have realized I cannot have freedom and live a life of love and compassion without forgiving myself and others for the small as well as the large transgressions in order to live a life fully expressed. I have come to learn that forgiveness brings peace, love, gratitude, health, compassion, wholeness, fearlessness, and freedom, a life worth living. If I don't forgive, how can I be forgiven? For the things I say or do against others when I am not in alignment with my higher self, or inattentive or insensitive to a situation. I bring compassion for myself and those I have harmed. I think how much Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. had to forgive against their oppressors to come from a place of love and compassion and the will to take on two of the greatest challenges in modern history, and to do so nonviolently. Gandhi said, "Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." Martin Luther King Jr. drew strength from the power of love. He said that forgiveness is a catalyst, creating the atmosphere necessary for a fresh start and a new beginning. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude. By practicing forgiveness, what positive changes can be created in our own lives, in our relationships with our families, our community, and the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Lisa, as my grandmother used to say, new?
And thank you, Christina. So this week on Wednesday, we would love to see you join us for our Wow Wednesday. We are starting with our Oneness Circle with the prayer chaplains at 5:30. It's a wonderful time of sharing and communion through prayer and meditation. That will be followed by our community meal at 6 o'clock, in which we have time to get to know each other and chat a bit before our 7 o'clock program, which this week is our Ash Wednesday Phoenix Rising ceremony. This ceremony begins the time of Lent, which leads us up to Holy Week. And so you'll want to come join us to release our burdens and to have some sacred ash placed on your forehead so that we can enter this time together. That the music will be that'll be with Reverend Rick and me, and music will be provided by Christy Mattel and Paula Mandela. We want to give you a heads up on our course coming by Elaine LaRoa. She's our quantum living coach here at SLC, and she's starting this off with a bang with a Wednesday night session on who have you come here to be. And everyone is invited to join us for that wonderful evening. Whether you plan to continue the course or not, it's going to be a great evening. She's providing an introduction that night to the art and practice of living with nothing and no one against you. And this program is designed to help you become aware of your unconscious limiting beliefs that are hindering you from stepping into your highest, most noble self. She'll be following that with a 6-week in-person class on Wednesday afternoons from 3 to 5, from March 11th through April 14th. We'll continue that uncovering and transforming the unconscious and feelings, limiting feelings and behavior. So this will open the way for your own heart-centered evolutionary transformation. And now we'd like to invite Sandra Hernandez to share her experience with quantum living.
Happy rising, everyone. I'm here to share my experience with the quantum living class, aka workshop is what I call it. It was an amazing journey, a chance to meet myself in a space I hadn't realized I haven't met myself before. I've done a lot of shadow work, which I prefer to call shadow love. Since 2013, when I lost my vision and could not walk, I had a health speed bump. My spiritual path has been about shedding what I thought I knew, moving from ignorance to remembrance. In the shedding, I uncovered pain from a religious church that asked me not to return because I didn't do what the pastor wanted me to do when I was super sick and go to discipleship. That moment when I was really sick was traumatic. I was close to many people there and had devoted so much of myself to the group. Subconsciously, I realized I had been holding on to that experience. The quantum class helped me see these hidden strands clearly, and I'm grateful for the awareness. What made that experience truly meaningful wasn't only the material, but the community I found in the process, which I stayed away from groups and engaging for a while, not realizing I was doing this. Hearing others share similar traumatic experiences, not necessarily with health, but really intense ones from childhood for me and them, as well, created a sense of connection and belonging that felt healing and empowering. I would encourage everyone to check out Quantum Living or any of the classes offered at SLC. You never know what you might discover. Elaine is an angel. She's the perfect person to have guiding the class. Check it out if any of you get the opportunity. Thank you for your time. Love and light.
You know, a lot of times I'm asked for letters of recommendation, and every once in a while a candidate comes through and I say, I know I've written you 5 letters of recommendation this year, but this time I really mean every adjective in the letter. This class on quantum living really gets at shadow work and is really important. So if there's any chance that you can take it, I would Elaine is a good teacher, so I would strongly recommend taking it. We also, through our community action team, they're doing a kids' birthday celebration for foster kids. It's going to be Thursday, February 26th. We can use volunteers. Sally is going to be in the courtyard for folks to learn more about this and also to sign up. And I think it's an important outreach that SLC is doing. Now, there are many things, obviously, which foster transformation in our lives. Prayer remains at the heart of the Unity movement. Lisa's going to be talking very much about that in a few minutes. But you will have that opportunity for one-on-one prayer after the service in the courtyard with one of our chaplains. They're the ones wearing the white robes. And there's so, really, truly, there is something going on around here, both online and in person, almost every day of the week, which really can help you with your spiritual walk. Check it out at the hub in the courtyard. Go to our website online. And there is so much there which really can help you spiritually. And we also come here for connection. So why don't greet one another in ways which are appropriate and give that connection right now.
We'd invite you to take all that good energy from greeting one another. Join us in singing our group song, Touch of the Divine by Richard Burdick. Dancing is encouraged. And now's your time. All right, please join us in singing. I feel the touch of the divine. I feel the prayer of grace for me. I look beyond myself in humility, and I embrace the mystery. Standing in the light, God's love is enough for me. Standing in the light, in God's love I am set free. Another dance break. I mean it. I stretch my wings, I'm lifted up by the unseen power of life. I stretch my wings, I soar, yes, and now I fly, for I've been touched by the divine. Standing in the light, God's love is enough for me. Standing in the light, in God's love I am set free. I'm standing in the light. Standing in the light, God's love is enough for me. Standing in the light, in God's love I am set free. In God's love I am set free. In God's love I am set free. Please be seated. Now, as we move into the contemplative portion of our service, let's all say our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. I just invite you to take a nice deep breath, which seems appropriate, as we get into this beautiful prayer as a song. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe deeper in. Please join us in singing. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe deeper in and breathe out. I know you're me, so I breathe. I am part of one, and one is everything, and everything is all there is, and all there is God. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe deeper in and breathe out. I know you're here with me, so I breathe. I am part of one, and one is everything, and everything is all there is, and all there is God. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out.
Breath in and slowly let it out. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Come with me as we take a trip back east. Oh my God, why would I want to go there? It's so cold and snowy. But we're going to the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. We're in southwestern Virginia. Those snow-covered mountains are just so beautiful. And we're in one of the many inns or old houses with a beautiful fireplace and a wonderful, warm, crackling fire. It's just so wonderful looking at that fire, at the logs and the flames and the warmth. And somebody says to us, come on outside. You'll be warm. We go outside and there's a beautiful stone fire pit. We're sitting around it with friends. The logs are on fire. Smoke is rising. As it rises, we look up and we see the stars. And since we're in the country, there's so many more stars than we normally see. And we truly feel at one with both the fire, the rising smoke, the stars, the universe. We truly feel one with the one. And this sense doesn't depend upon Wi-Fi or electricity running. It is always there. And in that joy, with the uplink of prayer and the downlink of meditation. With that connection, we gladly go into the silence. Dear Spirit, thank you for the realization that this uplink and downlink are available to us wherever we are at any time and during any season of the year. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen.
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end and where do I start? Anything you wish for, if fear is in your way, I am here to listen to anything you need to say. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me and I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. My prayer too. I hear the worries that are in your way. There's nothing that I can do to take your pain away, but I'll help you reconnect with that voice that's deep inside. Let angels wrap you in their love and let spirit be your guide. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me and I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. 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 Your prayer is my
music team. And thank you, Reverend Rick, for that wonderful meditation. Such an honor to be here with you today. I've had many of you along with me on my walk since I first came to Unity here in Sacramento in my early 20s. And so I feel so privileged to be sharing with you. Thank you. Today we're continuing our series on Unity's 5 principles. And we've had some wonderful talks on the first 3 principles by Reverend Rick in the last few weeks. And now we're up to 4 and 5, which really are what put feet on the first 3. They're the action principles. Even though our 5th principle is action, prayer is something we do. And so that's within that action realm. 4th principle is we connect with God through prayer. So this principle is especially important because Unity was founded on prayer. And many of you probably know the story of Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, along with Charles Fillmore. They founded this amazing movement because they had this personal experience of healing through prayer. And they wanted to bring this to everyone. And their intention was not to start a denomination or a church. They called it maybe a movement. And their intention was for people to come from their own ministries, and then they had meetings in the afternoon to learn about this special way of healing and embodying their own expression of God through prayer. When I think of prayer, my mind first goes to my grandma. My grandma was a spunky redhead, and she loved to laugh. And her name was Eveline, but she changed it to Evelyn just because, she liked it better. She and Grandpa had always had an extra place set at the table for someone in need to come and join them. She had a funny habit of hanging up the phone mid-sentence. Harriet came over today to help shuck the click. But what went right along with this was that she would also break into prayer anytime, any day, just right in the middle of a conversation. And that was one of the wonderful things that I remember about her. So Grandma's God was a personal God. Grandma's God was an accessible God and a friend. And that was the God of her understanding. And you see, many of us don't view God like that anymore. When I was a kid, sure, I learned that God is an old man in the sky with a big white beard on the clouds, but that's not part of my experience anymore. And I'm sure many of you have redefined what your idea of God is, whether it's the universe or all that is, or divine presence, or Buddha nature, or the higher self. But the amazing thing about God is that we can't put God in a box, right? We can't, just like we can't put the wind in the box or a wave in a box, and we can't put a thought in a box, right? And just like Reverend Rick shared with us in one of his earlier messages, that idea that Ellen Davenport put forth in her 5 Principles book, that we really should be redefining our own idea of God maybe at least every decade. Right? Our lives don't stay the same. Our perceptions don't stay the same. And perhaps the way we think of whatever, as Unity calls, all good, divine, all power, divine intelligence, everywhere present. If we could name God, if we could define God, it wouldn't be God, right? It wouldn't be. So Connecting with God is connecting with the God of our understanding, whatever that is right now. And we can call that communion. Communion is becoming one with God. Whether you want to call God the universe or whatever spirit or whatever that name is that works for you so that you feel authentic. Because to truly connect with God, we have to honor this authenticity in ourselves. And if we're trying to fit our prayers into some mode of communication with a God that is not truly what we understand, we're probably not really connecting. My beliefs were challenged most by Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck, who you probably remember made his transition in the last several months. He was one of Unity's great teachers and thinkers, and he challenged so many of us. So in my licensed Unity teacher training, he insisted that God was only principle. I thought, what does that mean? You know, we can know that a principle is a rule, a law that applies to everyone that is never changing, right? But what does that mean to us? What does it mean in our lives? I mean, I still have to try to wrap my mind around it. What is principle? But to give you an idea of what principle is can also be defined as those attributes of God, such as that we can ground into, and that is an expression of God and part of God. And that would be maybe like love, or for me, like courage today. Those are some of the attributes of God that are principle, along with that principle that God is all good, everywhere present. So when I was dealing with this in my own mind, in my training, I had a lot of feeling of grief and loss at this idea that God is only principle. Okay, maybe I don't think of God as this personified being anymore. And I just decided, I don't care, Paul. God is more than that to me, and I realized that God is presence to me. And that is what makes me feel authentic. And that presence is not only, it's in me, and it's in you, and it's in nature, and it's in all that is, and it is that all good divine intelligence and divine power. And you may feel that for you, that you may not feel that. Some people just feel God, just connect with God, especially in nature. Or some people only connect with God as within me or within another person. And that's fine. That's fine. That which is authentic to you is that with which you connect. So, out of these first three principles of unity came affirmative prayer. I'm not saying that the principles came first, because we learned that they were brought in together in a little article by Rosemary Fillmore Rhee, or was it Connie Fillmore? Anyway, trying to keep those details straight. And so, but affirmative prayer is based on those knowledge of those first three principles. And the first one, that we know that God is everywhere present, all-powerful, and all-knowing. That's what we believe. And then that we are expressions of God. That's our second principle. And then our third principle, that we co-create with this God. We co-create. We create our own experiences with our thoughts and with our intentions. And so then how do we pray from that knowing? And our prayer becomes a creative prayer, a prayer that acknowledges that power within us, that sends our intentions and our knowledge and our wisdom grounded into the world so that we may claim our experiences in what is manifesting based on this truth. We are intentionally praying, connecting with the divine, affirming truth. And Ellen Davenport, in her 5 Principles books, says that affirmative prayer is where spirit meets language. It's when we speak truth knowing that it's already ours. Unity's co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, says this: we need to harmonize our thinking and our prayers with actual living experiences. Sometimes we pray to a God outside of ourselves. It is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals. With our eye of faith, we must see God in our flesh, see that wholeness for which we are praying in every part of the body temple. And that's what she did. So she's talking about healing. It took her a good 2 years. She brought that wholeness and that love to every part of her body until her disease that had been a lifelong condition that she was inherited. She learned that I inherit no sickness. And she brought that truth into every part of her body until she was completely cured. And that was the beginning of a great movement. So one time I fell off a ladder. And it happened, we have this little guest shed outside our house, and it has a loft in it. And that loft has a ladder that came from a furniture place that I'm not going to name, and it wasn't attached to anything. And so I was getting something from the little loft, and I climbed up on the ladder, and what do you know, that ladder slipped out from under me, and I fell backwards onto my head. Yeah, and I, fortunately, I didn't hit the wall, but I did hit the floor, and I knew that this was a pretty serious fall. And then fortunately, I did not black out. So if I'd blacked out, that would have been something different. I would have been heading straight to the ER. But instead, I walked inside the house and I sat down. And I knew that I had a choice. I could go into fear, and I could be, oh, please, God, help my head not be broken and not have a brain bleed and be in that place. But instead, I chose to center into what I had been learning about, this prayer, this connecting with the divine wholeness within me, knowing that all is well, that I can call upon something that is good and true to be present in my body. I was claiming what was waiting for me and knowing health and healing. And I did not speak the prayer at this time, but if I had spoken it, which speaking the prayer brings the energy of truth into physical being through sound. Sound vibration is with us. Everything's made of vibration. I could have said, I am whole. I am empowered. God is present in this situation. And I'm glad to say, even though I did have a concussion for a while, I was okay. I was okay. I love prayer chaplains. I used to not, well, I became a prayer chaplain after my previous minister became aware of me not really using prayer. I had said something about wishing that my father could be joyful in a situation or something. And she said, well, you could pray for him. And I kind of looked at her blankly, and because I just didn't appreciate prayer at that time. So she started this mastermind prayer group with a bunch of ministers and board members. And I got to learn about how we speak truth in this way and affirm it together, and I loved it. And, you know, they're busy, so this kind of ended. And I went, but I wanted it to continue, and we didn't have a prayer group at that ministry. And so I said, oh, well, I'm just going to have to do it then. I'm going to have to start a prayer group. And in order to do that, she referred me to Light and Love Ministries, which is prayer chaplain trainings, and many of our prayer chaplains have been through that training. And I became a chaplain. And what I learned is the incredible joy of that. I don't know how many of you visit our prayer chaplains, but when you go to a prayer chaplain, they remind you of the truth. And you want to do this because you can't always hold it for yourself. Sometimes that fear is just too present. It's just too much right there, and you need somebody to come with you, and it's that where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I also. So that chaplain stands with you and helps you remember the truth of your being. And you can feel a shift. You can feel the power. And what's really cool is the chaplains can feel it too. And that's probably why they love it so much as well. Yeah. So we're talking about affirmative prayer, which we can't have a whole lesson on today. But we want to know that it's just okay if we're not always in the place where we can do affirmative prayer, if it's even what we want, because our need for God shifts and changes depending on our circumstances, right? Sometimes we really want that nurturing, embracing presence. And all prayer is good and effective and real. In Unity is affirmative prayer. We're stepping into our power and co-creating. But all prayer is connection with God. But sometimes we need to cry out to God. I have a situation I could share about that. Our family every year goes camping, the extended family, and we like to go up to someplace where we can camp on a lake. So we've been going up to Ice House Reservoir, where their campsites are right there next to the lake. And I was up on the cliff there on the campsite, and I was watching my 2 boys and their cousins be pulled on an inflatable by the family boat. And I thought, oh, he's going awfully fast. And that inflatable was kind of bouncing along there. And what do you know, that inflatable hit a wave, and it flew up in the air, and the bodies went flying and came down in the water and under the water. And I watched for them to come up. I couldn't tell if they were okay or not. I was too far away. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in that moment, my heart was crying out to God that they be safe. They were safe. And in that cry also, because I'm rooted in these Unity teachings, I was also feeling that sense of safety. So that feeling and that emotion and that claiming it is a big part of our prayer once we understand this. So yeah, they were okay. But sometimes we do need to cry out to God, and we receive that wonderful assurance or presence or just surrender. Prayer is as old as humanity. And who are we to say that other methods of prayer are not good and true and just as wonderful as ours? Such as, let's say, the Psalms, or singing praise, worship. How about prayer flags? At the tops of mountains, the wind blows through them and brings prayers and blessings to all the land. How about the dance of whirling dervishes spinning around and around and around and around until their souls are in communion with the divine? Or prescribed prayers like Hail Mary, or focusing on a divine image, or meditation on an orange. In Islamic tradition, Muslims are called to pray 5 times a day. And someone reminded me after the last service of this wonderful prayer and song, and I remember the time when we were sailing on the ocean, and a group of dolphins came, and they were swimming with us and going under our boat, and we started singing "Do not know peace far." We sang to them for as long as they were there, and it was like they were singing with us, and that was a prayer to all the creatures of the earth and all the heavens. Wow, what an affirmation. So all we need is the intention to connect to the divine. What if we made a practice of doing this 5 times a day? Yeah. So one of the ways that unity teaches us to connect is in the silence, and that is a tradition that is known in many different faiths. The Buddhists call this samdhi, a place of perfect stillness to make room for inspiration. And the Tao Te Ching says, "Bide in silence, and the radiance of the Spirit shall come in and make its home." I love that. But how do we do this? We have a practice that Unity has formed out of the teachings of Myrtle Fillmore, out of the teachings of Unity. It's called Unity's 5-step prayer practice or process. You can use this in your lives to help you practice. There are also other faiths or other New Thought traditions especially that have other 5-step practices that are actually quite similar to this one, and you might want to investigate those as well. This process begins with relaxation. So this is where you take your conscious breath, you pay attention to your breathing, you release your muscles. You might want to do a progressive relaxation, starting with your feet and going through your body. You relax your mind. And then the next step is concentration. Concentration doesn't mean, I'm going to focus now so that I can pray. Concentration means you take an attribute of the divine, such as love or compassion or strength or whatever you want, whatever is part of that all good, and you just bring your awareness to that and all that that is embodying in you, all that it means to you. You bring that into your mind. And then from there, you go into meditation, which is where you're in the stillness. And just be still. Your mind may wander a little bit. It's okay. You can bring your mind back. And out of meditation comes realization. So realization is when we listen for divine inspiration. But that listening, it may actually show up as one of those little thoughts in your mind that you think is so annoying and go away. But actually, if you pay attention to it, it may have something to say to you, something that's completely out of the context of what you've been thinking, the way that you need to fix your problems. So if you listen to that, sometimes that's your divine guidance, or it may be just a knowing. And for me, when I'm going through this process, that realization, that feeling is my signal that my time of meditation has ended. I don't stop the meditation portion and go into the realization portion. It just happens as a flow. Actually, in Reverend Deanne Morency, who's at Marin, Unity in Marin, and Reverend Linda Martel-Whitsett have a book called Divine, it has to do with divinity. Sometimes in the flow, this is you lose those names, right? Okay, Discover Your Divinity. There it is. All right. Discover Your Divinity, and it's a wonderful book on prayer that kind of meets us where we're at in our modern times. She has a little bit different way of going through this, what she calls prayer flow. Okay, so after realization, we give thanks. And what we do is we give thanks that our prayer is answered. So this is where faith comes in. We don't always see it answered immediately. We have some surrendering to that knowledge of that which is bigger than us, that which is more than we may understand. So the process is relaxation, concentration, meditation, realization, and give thanks. And you can do this for a long time. Long time might be 20 minutes, or like if you're Charles Fillmore, it might be 2 hours. And that's how he downloaded all that amazing material that we have. Or it can be really short. Like if you're stopped at a stoplight and you think, okay, and take that conscious breath. I'm going to have some compassion because, that those drivers around me are, right? So that's a concentration and just a breath of meditation. And realization could be just a shift in how you're feeling. And then this give thanks. Thank you. And then the light turns green and you're off. So prayer can be as quick as that. So we do need to release our need to control the outcome. We say this or something better. We don't have all understanding. We're human and we're divine. And so if we carry that faith with us, there are those times when we have those moments that are just deeply tragic, and God is there too. So we breathe into that. And we leave space for that divine understanding that may come through time. We have our prayer chaplains to help us, but I also want to bring your I don't know if you know about Silent Unity, which is the foundation of of Unity, along with Modern Thought magazine. In the 1890s, the Fillmores founded a prayer, it was the prayer ministry where people would write their letters in, and a number of people would write letters back to them to help them with these affirmative prayers. And then as soon as the telephone came out, they just jumped right on that and had one of the first call centers in the United States. And that is still in existence. It's no longer called Silent Unity. It's called Unity Prayer Ministry, but many of us still call it Silent Unity in our heads. So you can go to unity.org to find that phone number. You can also put a prayer in there. You can get the Be Unity app, which has, you can put prayers in through that app and they'll email you back. Or they can also, you can get some meditations on that app. You can't find that in the App Store. You do have to go to their site to get their app. So I encourage you to do that, especially if you haven't called Silent Unity before. It's really quite a blessing. So prayer is connection with God. And in this connection, this is where we find our power. This is where we know our true self. This is where we find presence. And we need to do it all the time. So, in closing, I would like to share with you a poem by Rumi that is called hay. The grass beneath a tree is content and silent. A squirrel holds an acorn in its praying hands, offering thanks, it looks like. The nut tastes sweet. I bet the prayer spiced it up somehow. The broken shells fall on the grass, and the grass looks up and says, "Hey." And the squirrel looks down and says, "Hey." I've been saying hey lately, too, to God. Formalities just weren't working. And so it is. Thank you.
Wasn't Lisa's talk just wonderful? I think I will always take away the story of the ladder and the inflatables. I mean, it means a lot to me to hear how people actually use this stuff, when as it were, when the rubber meets the road. Thank you very, very much. Lisa, as many of you know, has been the director of education here for the last 6 months. She's always also taken on the responsibility of being our director of operations. In June, she is going to become, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, she is going to become a licensed and ordained Unity minister. And after the 9 o'clock service, somebody came up, one of the pillars of this community came up to me and said, Rick, it's our responsibility to make sure we don't burn her out. So, thank you, Lisa. I hope that is the first of many more talks that you will be giving. Next week, oh my goodness, please show up because it's going to be Black History Transcendent Luminaries. It's going to be a very special time. The message is going to be delivered by Reverend Brenda Lambert, who will be our guest speaker. I also will be joining her on the message. The music, oh my goodness, Brenda, Carol, David, Denise, and Lori, it is going to be just super. If that weren't enough, afterwards, after the 11 o'clock service, there's going to be a soul food lunch, and if that weren't enough, after that, in the afternoon, we're going to have Authentic Voices, a wonderful group that is going to be doing theater and workshop, and we will all be participating in it. So come next week. It really, honestly, truly will be a special celebration. If you're watching us online, you can go to slcworld.org, click on the Connect button, and fill out the card. This will let us know that you are watching and will help us keep up with you and share a lot of wonderful things that are going on at SLC. And let me say, for all of us, because a lot of wonderful stuff is being put up online from SLC, if you like it, push the like button. If you know somebody you think this would help, share it with them. The algorithm can work for good as well as a lot of nonsense, but let's let it work for good. For those of you here in person today, in a moment, we will ask you to raise your hand if you're new to us. We want to not embarrass you. We want to welcome you. We will give you a welcome card to fill out, and you can take it to the welcome table in the courtyard to receive a warm welcome and a special gift. So if you're here for the first time, could I ask you to please slip up your hands? Anybody new?
Back in the booth.
Back in the booth. Yeah. And let me say, we are so grateful for our AV team. Many people, particularly Gen Xers and Gen Zers, and the first right down here, yep, there we go. A lot of the Gen Zers, millennials, and Xers that we're going to meet, the first time we're going to meet them, is not in the physical building, but online. I have had so often people come up to me and say, I've been watching you for 4 or 5 months, and this is the first time I've come to visit you. Now, we all are going to have an opportunity to support Spiritual Life Center. I know many of you give online or whatnot. You can text SLC Love to 44321, or go to the website and click the donation button, Also, you can also mail your love offerings into us. And if you are online and want to spread this consciousness, click like, comment, share, and subscribe. So let's say that wonderful blessing. Divine love multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
If you want to know real feeling, take the time for healing. A moment in the morning for prayer. Begin anew with sunrise. Wipe the dust from your eyes. Be rid of your disguises again. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, and a little for your brother. A little love for your soul will make you whole. If you're looking for protection, learn to redirection, hidden in the depth of your soul. Remember in the noonday, sit in peace, meditate. Stillness takes you farther than you know. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, and a little for your brother. A little love for your soul will make you whole. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 If you wanna walk in power, dedicate an hour for the shower of love. Do it in the evening, you will be receiving the peace that you've been leaving behind. A little for your father, little for your mother, little for your sister, and a little for your brother. A little love for your soul will make you whole. Be rid of your disguises again. Be rid of your disguises again. Be rid of your disguises. Be rid of your disguises again. Be rid of your disguises again. Oh, be rid of your disguises again. Oh, be rid of your disguises again.
By the way, if ever in doubt, in dancing, holy dancing is encouraged here. Dear Spirit, thank you for the prayers in our prayer box and prayers on people's hearts. Help them to know that healing power and that we can be with that healing power more than overcomers. Thank you for all the investments that are made into this ministry of time, treasure, and talent. Thank you for our many, many blessings. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Now we're going to say that wonderful prayer for protection. We're going to sing the peace song. Then, by the way, after the service, at the end, they have wonderful music brought by Cat Stevens. Then after that, let's meet in the courtyard for fellowship. So let's say that wonderful prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Let's sing that peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let it begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me.